did. Everybody black, call your cousin. You know we got in some trouble. You understand that? We got in some trouble. And when something bothers you, just address it. You know, most of the guys that come, the FedEx guys and all the other race of people, they don't know your name. They don't know my name is Melvin. See, but you want them to know your name. Especially if they're going to call you Bud. Thanks, Bud. Bud bothered me. Because there's a history on Bud and Buddy. I'm trying to help her. I ain't trying to be crazy here. But if Bud bothered me, it was my place to what? Address Bud and let him know my name. Give me no harm by it. Thanks, Bud. I went to another place. White guy said, thanks, Bud. Almost like, boy, but you know, I ain't starting with a little job. But I simply said, I don't like Bud. I like Mel. Oh, you didn't mean no harm by it. I'm sure you did, but you didn't know the name. You want to keep your spirit right? Then be right with your intentions.
That's right. That's
Don't fight about everything.
That's right.
You see, because some people just don't know. You understand what I'm saying? Some people just don't know. They have not been brought into enlightenment. So you don't get a 90-year-old man, racist, that's just trying to come out of it. You help him across the street, you say, thank you, sonny boy. That's all he knows. Don't mean no harm with you. Go in his pocket, give you a quarter. Then you already know he ain't changed. He ain't up to date, he's an old day. Quarter was an old day. That all gave you 35 cents. But what am I trying to share with you here? What the Bible says, be quick to hear and slow to speak. You don't want to be something that people can activate. Just put a quarter in you and you can have food.
Yeah, all right.
You have got to find a way to be a reacher and a teacher. Probably has to call me most of the time Sunday morning just to see how I'm doing. Give a report and ask about deal. I said, where are you, man? He said, I want you to know I've been in Mexico. I've got to know my sister. I just had to tell you, my sister cooked breakfast for me. And we some biscuits and eggs and stuff. Then we started talking about you. I said, all right. He said, let me tell you something. I got up and I left Mississippi and decided the property would be in Pensacola. If he was going to get over there somewhere. And you coming all the way from Texas. Sometimes to do one night just and then turn and get home and go back to church. He said, man, it moved me. I'm here because of what I see you do. He said, I want to tell you, and I always do tell you, you help me. And I can follow you because you know how to take a bad thing and turn it into something that everybody can appreciate. He said, you know how to talk to people. You make people want to do, even when they don't have a mind to do, because you've done it for me. So I called you when I was at the brink of making bad decisions. He said, but you took a bad thing and made me laugh. I want to thank you for that. I'm saying the least sometimes that you do, you may be blessing other people. You don't even know it. And it may be an inheritance. Y'all be careful. Because the Lord said, what? The wealth and the riches of the Gentiles of what? So God will put people in your life you don't even know. They may not be likable when you meet them, but they may be the person who's going to unload your best offerings, your best gifts. For a few minutes now. Almost finished. The idea of the remnant is that a small nucleus of God's people preserved by his unmerited grace, consider now, from a foundation for a new community devoted to his redemptive work of those who have been called out and set apart. And it's only through the grace of God. Somebody say grace. Grace. The only way we have been called out to consider ourselves as a remnant. Not everybody, but a remnant. Someone that God can trust. Someone that God can put in a storm, and when it blows over, you're still there. Still preserved. Shirt off. Shoe gone. But you still there. And that makes sense? Have you gone through some stuff that almost made you feel like the devil tried to strip you, but you still got you? Clap your hands on that word. Still here. Thank God. I love you, Jesus. Long before the prophets, a type of remnant theology may be seen in God's preservation of Noah and his family from the great flood, found it in Genesis 7. In the same way, God used Joseph in Egypt to sustain a remnant during the worldwide famine. Remnant theology is also evident in the book of Deuteronomy, where Moses warned Israel that they should be scattered. They wouldn't be scattered. He prophesied because of their sins. But the disobedience would eventually, by the disobedience, they would eventually be scattered and sent to many other countries. But God, being the God he is, you know, he's a God that will restore. Consider now, this concept was picked up by the prophets and applied to the Hebrew people when they were carried into captivity by the Assyrian and the Babylonians. In the 8th century BC, the prophet Amos proclaimed Israel's doom, but he also declared the possibility of deliverance from the remnant of Joseph. Now let's consider. Genesis 7:1 says, "And the Lord said unto Noah, Come thou and all thy house into the ark. For thee have I seen righteous before me in this generation." Consider now that you are an individual or a seed that God has saved and blessed. You may not have all the money you need. You may not be living in the house or the community that you'd like to be in. You may not have the education that you want right now. But you're in this generation. And you are the ones that have been kept in spite of what you are going through in your lives. Genesis 45:7 says, considering Joseph now, he was the deliverer that revealed himself to his brethren. And God sent, he said, me to preserve you, a posterity, a seed in the earth, to save your lives by a great deliverance. The generation was left in the earth because God could use a man. That was Joseph. He spoke to Moses concerning the ark. Considering Deuteronomy 4:27-31, it says, "And the Lord shall scatter you among the nations, and ye shall be left few in number among the heathen, whither the Lord shall lead you. And there ye shall serve gods, the work of men's hands, wood and stone, which neither see nor hear, nor smell." Now, let me just tell you real quickly there. Sometimes we get distracted saying we serve the living God, but we let our jobs distract us. The ways of life, party. You have to be careful when you can find time to do everything else but serve God. I pray for people when they always try to be nice, of course, to me, but they say, Bishop, I got to work. Bishop, I got to this, and Bishop, I got to do this, but never can fulfill their role as a child of God, especially if you're called to the gospel ministry. And I don't hurry nobody to get up to preach because you feel an anointing.
All
Or
right.
you feel a good service this Sunday.
All right.
I'm going to tell you up front, you ain't going to be happy every day. You ain't even feel like a preacher sometimes. You don't want to take a break and be somebody else. But when you call to God, God will straighten you out one way or the other. And you got to have the mind and the patience in order for God to choose you as a remnant. You got to be able to hold on and have a spirit of endurance, steadfastness. What do you think that it means to be in the army, to be in those camps and have a man over you that's making you run, jump, tell you when to get up, when to put your shoes on, when to go to bed? It's an army. They're strategizing. Number one, they want you healthy. They want to know your condition, both mental and spiritually.